世界のみんなとつながろう Bridges across world communities.
Hello and welcome to Bridges Across World Communities, sponsored by NIA, the Nishinomiya City International Association. My name is Floyd.
And my name is Thelma. The purpose of this program is to assist English-speaking residents in the Nishinomiya area by providing useful knowledge for daily living and important information for disaster prevention.
This program is broadcast on the second and fourth Saturday of each month from 12 noon to 12:15.
This month, we'll go over a list of places that you can contact for advice in answers to problems arising from the new coronavirus pandemic.
And our guest is Mr. Jason Hockwell Jones, originally from the UK, who now lives in Asia.
提供は西宮市国際交流協会です。
Well, hi Thelma.
Hi, Floyd.
Now, our early mornings and late evenings are finally starting to cool down a bit, but the heat during the day is still unbearable for me.
Yes, and you just have to wait a little longer, Floyd, and the weather will be getting better soon. And however, the coronavirus situation doesn't look like it's going to improve for a while yet.
Yeah, that's for sure. And from what I'm hearing about the situation in Nishinomiya, in other parts of Japan and in other countries around the world, is that we still need to be very careful.
Yes, and the situation is creating a lot of problems and confusion for people everywhere.
Yeah, I think this sounds like a good time to go over our contact list of local organizations where people can get help and accurate information about the virus.
Yes, okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Now, for medical questions, please call the Nishinomiya Health Center at 0798-262240. And they're open every day from 8:45 a.m. to 7 p.m. And for general questions, call the health centers at a different number, 0798-350567. And they're open every day from 8:45 a.m. to 5:30 p.m.
Now, it'd be best to make these calls with someone who speaks Japanese, but if you don't speak much Japanese, that's okay too. Just speak English slowly, tell them your name, your country, and your phone number, and they'll have an English-speaking staff member call you back later.
Yes, and for up-to-date local information on the coronavirus in English, please visit the Nishinomiya City website at nishi.or.jp and click on the novel coronavirus COVID-19 information in the multi-language link on the top of the homepage.
Yeah, and you can also use the automatic translation function of the Nishinomiya City website. Just click on the multilingual link at the top of the page, select English on the next page, and then the entire website will be displayed in English.
Yes, and according to the health center, some people are asking to have PCR tests done at their own expense, even though they don't have any COVID-19 symptoms. However, the health center will not refer people to specific medical institution and will tell you to search for the information on the internet on your own using keywords such as Nishinomiya and PCR.
Yeah, there are very few medical institutions in Nishinomiya that offer PCR tests at your own expense.
Yes.
And each test costs around 30,000 yen, and it may take 5 to 7 days to get the results.
Well, advice and various living situation and assistance is always available at the NIA, and please call us at 0798328680 or send an email to nia@nishi.or.jp. And we are open daily from 9:45 to 6 p.m. except Tuesdays and holidays. And we have English and Chinese speaking staff on hand.
Yeah, and if you don't speak English or Chinese, that's another reason not to worry, because we have a three-way conversation with a volunteer interpreter. And that's available in several other languages as well through the Trio phone system. So we also have translation tablets at the NIA office, so we can manage other even less common languages.
Last month, on August 23rd and 24th, NIA held a free consultation event on COVID-19 to help foreign residents who are experiencing difficulties due to the pandemic.
With the cooperation of other organizations and volunteers, NIA was able to offer food and handmade masks to some of the participants.
Yes, although there were no urgent issue, NIA provided a wide range of consultation services for those who were unemployed and looking for a job, and to those who were applying for emergency petty cash and payments to aid with living expenses. Okay.
Yeah, so if you know any foreign residents in our area who need assistance, please tell them about our services and programs. And we'd like to welcome our guest this month, Mr. Jason Hochwald-Jones.
Good afternoon, Floyd. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, we mentioned in the opening that you're originally from the UK.
Yes.
So I guess we have to go back a ways to find out how you ended up here, or what your route was to get to Japan. But
Right. So grew up in the UK for the first 12 years and then emigrated to Australia with my family.
ooh, that's a big move.
It was a big move. It was indeed.
So you were what, 12 or 13? You said when you moved.
That's correct. Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was a I guess you could say a little bit of a culture shock initially, but soon got used to the hot summers and the outdoor life in Western Australia, which was great.
Did you know much about Australia before you went?
No, in fact, it's quite a good story. But when my father sort of raised the prospect initially of moving to Perth, at the time we were living in York in the north of England, we all said, why are we moving to Scotland? Because Perth, Australia, is named after a city in northern Scotland. So, yes, it was a big surprise. Yeah, and I didn't have any real understanding of where we were going.
Now, how much time from the time your father said, "Oh, we're going to move to Australia," to actually happening? How much time did you have to prepare?
I think it was probably around 6 or 12 months from memory.
That's quite a while.
Yeah, because it was as it is today, quite a complex procedure as far as visas. When I still remember, we went down to London to the Australian consulate because the family had to undertake, fairly vigorous medicals, etc., before you could emigrate to Australia, and then they would give you a window of time that you would have to arrive in Australia, otherwise all of your credentials would expire.
So did you end up pretty much moving the whole household, everything you had?
The entire household,
Wow.
lock, stock and barrel, car, furnishings, the whole lot. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's quite an experience. So now, when you moved to Australia, how long did it take you to learn to speak Australian?
Oh, well, that thankfully came reasonably quickly because I was thrown in at the deep end. Being at school there, you quickly learn to pick up a few of the localisms, I guess.
Yeah. What were some that you really remember?
Oh, I guess the Australians love to shorten everything, so we tend to she'll be right, g'day. We often like to talk about things that like we like to be. Everything has to be relaxed, so we're always looking to find a way of having more time for leisure.
The phrase I always hear is "no worries."
Yeah, no worries.
That's
with
Australia.
Very common expression for sure.
So, and were you pretty much accepted in the school or community? How'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there was some initially. There was a few challenges, with obviously the English migrants make up a big proportion of the migrants in Australia, but still there's a certain level of animosity. Well, animosity is perhaps the right word, wrong word, but but for me at least, the big thing that overcame a lot of those things was sport. So if I regret now that I wasn't a more of a musical person, etc., but at the time, sport seemed to be the best way into the hearts of the Australian.
Like your classmates?
My classmates.
So what was it, rugby?
Yeah, I played rugby and cricket at the time. It was that was a very, very sports orientated culture for certain.
No, we were talking earlier, and you mentioned a word that they were calling you initially.
Yes, that was quite a good one.
Would you like to share that? Or?
No. I was sharing with the expression they used back in the day perhaps endearingly, but they used to call me a pommy bastard.
Okay.
And for the Australians out there, you'll all be familiar. Hopefully you don't use that word anymore.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they use it even more now. But, so you 13 years old, you moved to Australia from England.
Yes.
That's quite a change. And how long were you in Australia?
Just trying to think now. I was there until around about 2004. So I guess 14. So I went through my high school years there, completed my university, and probably not too long after that I went overseas.
When you say overseas?
Well, I first went to I lived in Hong Kong for a period of time before coming to Japan. Yes.
So what made you come to Japan?
Love. Yes.
Yeah, that's so many of us have
Yeah,
gone
that's
through.
we call
You're
it
here for
common.
love, aren't you?
Well, we have a common denominator here.
Yes.
So, do you have any difficulty after move in Japan?
Oh, look, I mean, certainly. I was talking off air with Floyd earlier. I mean, probably for me, my Japanese language ability's limited, so that's probably been the biggest challenge for me. I mean, as far as fitting in with, cultural norms, I guess, and food, and the food's been no problem for me. I love the Japanese cuisine, so. Again, that's been an evolutionary process. Didn't happen. I didn't love natto the day I arrived, but I do now.
And me too.
I love natto.
Yeah, I hated it before.
Yeah.
I couldn't even stand the smell.
Yes.
So, now you said you came for love.
Yes.
Where did you meet your wife?
No, I met her on a slow boat from China, not to China. No, it was. I was returning from a leisure trip with some friends and met her on a ferry.
Oh, nice.
I often say that was to my benefit because she wasn't able to disembark.
She couldn't get off the boat. She wasn't a good swimmer, huh?
Absolutely.
So when was that? What year was that?
That was 2005. 2005. Yes.
And then when did you end up moving to Japan?
In not too long thereafter, probably less than a year after that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I
was
packed my
quick.
bags and arrived at the airport with all my belongings, and that was me. Never returned.
Wow, that was fast.
Yes.
And what did her family think about this?
I guess they were reasonably surprised, but no, it all in the end turned out well.
Everybody gets along.
Yeah, we all get along very well.
We have a lot more to talk about. So, we're running out of time already. Can you join us again next month?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Sounds
we'll
good.
continue this.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Floyd.
much,
John.
Thank you.
防災情報です。
Well, autumn is here, which means it's typhoon season again in Japan.
That's right, and now a good time to prepare for the coming storms with these important tips, Slide.
Yep. Okay. Tip number 1. Keep up to date with the latest information on approaching typhoons from your radio, TV, or the internet.
Stay indoors during typhoon and even beforehand while still approaching.
Store extra water and food supplies in case of water cutoffs and disaster conditions.
Keep a battery-operated radio handy and extra batteries for your smartphone tool.
Now, outdoor objects such as plants, gardening tools, and so on, those should be brought indoors. They can become dangerous projectiles if caught up in strong winds.
Yes, and clear the drainage areas around your house to help prevent flooding.
Keep safe by being prepared. Our fall semester Japanese language group lessons will begin this month. The Wednesday evening classes start on September 23rd and the Sunday morning classes start on September 27th.
We will stay accepting applications, so please visit our homepage to apply now or contact us if you have any questions.
The COVID-19 situation is not easing yet, so we must all continue to do what we can to stay safe and healthy.
And when you have to go out, please avoid the 3 C's: closed spaces, crowded places, and close contact.
And always wear your mask. But if you're feeling too hot, it's okay to take your mask off for a while to prevent heat stroke. Just remember to maintain social distancing.
Lastly, if you need help, please don't hesitate to contact the NIA at 0798-328680 or write an email to nia@nishi.or.jp. 定期は西宮市国際交流協会でした。
Stay safe, everyone.
And have a nice weekend.